Hello and welcome to STEM with Mr. N, where I perform different demonstrations and explain the science behind what we're seeing. This week's episode is supported by Playtron, and I'm going to be talking about electricity and introducing you to a cool musical gadget as I explore conductors, insulators and musical fruit. Let's check it out. Playtron is a collective of artists and engineers from different walks of life spread all over the globe. They do everything from building devices to hosting interactive events. Their story started in 2013 when they were holding music workshops for children. Then in 2016 they released their first device, the Playtron, which I will be looking at later in this video. And then in 2018 they released their second device called Touch Me. Visit their website at shop.playtronica.com and use the code STEM10 to get 10% off all of your purchases. You'll have heard the word electricity a lot, but have you ever thought about what it actually means? In everyday use, electricity refers to electrically charged particles called electrons moving through a metal wire. The flow of electricity through these wires is called a current. Electricity requires a complete loop to be able to move. That is why a battery has two ends, positive and negative, which both need connected to a device, and why my battery pack has two wires coming out of it. By using a crocodile clip to attach the black wire of my battery pack onto one side of my bulb, and then using another crocodile clip to attach the red wire of the battery pack onto the other side of the bulb, and turning on that battery pack, I have created a closed loop. This is allowing those electrically charged particles, electrons, to flow around this loop and light up the bulb. If I disconnect one of my crocodile clips from the bulb, I now have an open loop. Electricity cannot flow through an open loop. So I'm going to put another crocodile clip onto the bulb, and then I have a gap between these two crocodile clips on one side. I still have an open circuit, but rather than just touching these two crocodile clips together, I'm going to use something else to close this loop. I'm going to clip one of the crocodile clips onto one end of a metal teaspoon, and then I'm going to do the same with the other crocodile clip. Now you'll see the bulb is lighting up again because I've been able to close that loop. The electrons are able to flow through the spoon, and that is completing the circuit. I'm now going to replace that metal teaspoon with a plastic measuring spoon. So I'll clip a crocodile clip onto one end, a crocodile clip onto the other, and now you'll notice the bulb is not lighting up. That means there is still an open loop here. The electrons are not able to travel round this complete circuit. So why was I able to complete the loop using the metal teaspoon, but I could not complete the loop using the plastic spoon? This is because some materials are conductors and some materials are insulators. A conductor means that the material will allow the free flow of electrons through it, offering little to no resistance, and they can be used to complete a circuit. The atoms of insulators are very tightly packed, and they do not allow electrons to flow through them, so they can't complete a circuit, meaning there is still an open loop. Metal is a very good conductor, and that is why the electrons could flow freely through the metal spoon. Plastic, however, is a very good insulator, and that's why electrons could not flow through it. That is also why metal wires and plugs have plastic casings around them, because the electricity does not flow through the plastic, and this stops you from getting a shock from the appliances that you are using. Now, armed with that knowledge, it's time to introduce the Playtron device. When you receive this, you get a Playtron board, crocodile clips and a USB cable. To get started with the Playtron, all you need is a laptop, smartphone or tablet and some materials which will conduct electricity. By attaching conductive materials onto the Playtron device, you're able to create music using synths on the Playtron website, synth.playtronica.com. We established that the metal spoon is a very good conductor and that the plastic spoon was a very good insulator. Now I'm going to use the Playtron device to test what other items might be good conductors or good insulators. To do this, I'm going to attach some crocodile clips onto the Playtron board, and you'll see next to where I'm putting these crocodile clips, there's also the mention of what notes these will play. This is important if you want to use a Playtron to make music, but right now I'm using the Playtron to explore the conductivity of different materials. Onto the other end of these crocodile clips attached to the Playtron board, I'm going to attach different materials for testing. These are a wooden chopstick, a bit of sponge, a piece of paper, a tissue, an aluminium drinks can, a key, a 50p coin and a bit of tin foil. Once these are all attached, I then actually need to add another crocodile clip onto the Playtron, and I need to be touching this one to be able to test my different items. So I'm going to clip this onto my ring, and that way I've got permanent contact with it without needing to hold it in my hand. Now they're all attached and the Playtron is clipped to me, I'm going to plug the USB into the Playtron board and attach this to my laptop. On that synth.playtronica site, I'm going to select one of the synths, and now we're going to test these different materials. If it conducts electricity, when I press on it, the synth will play a note, and if it does not conduct electricity, then when I press on it, we will hear no sound at all. You'll notice that I'm getting sound when I touch any of the metallic items. All of these are conducting electricity. With the other items, however, the wooden chopstick, the sponge, the piece of paper and the tissue, when I press on them, no notes are being played. That means these items are very good insulators. However, there's something else that I'm actually going to explore here, because sponges are very good at soaking up water. So I'm going to dip my sponge in water, attach it back onto the crocodile clip, press on it and see what happens. You'll notice now that when the sponge is wet, it is conducting electricity, and this is because water is a very good conductor. That is also why it is dangerous for humans to get too close to high voltages of electricity, because the majority of our bodies are made up of water. Fruits and vegetables also contain a lot of water, so now I'm going to have a bit of fun with my Playtron by attaching different fruits and vegetables onto the device and seeing if these do conduct electricity as I think they should, given the amount of water that's in them. So I'm going to chop up some different fruits and vegetables, attach these onto the crocodile clips, again open up a synth on that synth.playtronica site, press on the fruits and vegetables and see if they conduct electricity. And you'll have noticed there that the fruits and vegetables are conducting electricity through them. I'm able to play notes by touching these different items. This is because of the amount of water that is contained within the fruits and vegetables, that the electricity is able to pass through that water, creating the complete circuit. Now, at this point you might actually be wondering, how are we creating a complete loop here? Because the cables are going from the Playtron device to the fruit or vegetable, and then I'm touching them. But where is the complete loop? Well, remember, when I've been testing these, I've had a cable clipped onto my ring. This means there is a small electrical current going from the Playtron board through my body and then out of my finger into the fruit, vegetable or other item that I'm touching, back into the Playtron board to complete that loop. This is a very, very small current of electricity and it's not going to do me any harm, although people with pacemakers should probably not use the Playtron just in case it does interfere with them. Now that we've learned how the Playtron works and learned that fruits and vegetables conduct electricity, I'm going to have a bit of fun with some traditional music. I'm going to attach halves of grapes onto crocodile clips attached onto specific notes on my Playtron board, and I have a piano synth open on my laptop. Then I'm going to play a famous traditional song with a slight twist on the name, as I perform Amazing Grapes. But that's not all. I've also chopped up bits of banana and attached these onto the Playtron board with cables attached to specific notes. And then, with another slight twist on the name, I'm going to play a famous Scottish traditional song, the Skye Banana Boat Song. But that's not all. I have one final song for you. I've chopped up some bits of lime, attached these onto crocodile clips on the Playtron board, again with specific notes. And now I'm going to play you a famous Scottish song that is known the world over. Again, slight twist in the name here with a fruit pun as I play Auld Lang Syne. Well, that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. A huge thank you to Playtronica for sending me the Playtron board. I've had a lot of fun exploring it and playing these different traditional tunes, and I'm going to see what else I can come up with. And also, please send me your suggestions of songs I could play, especially if we can have a good pun in the name. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to stay up to date on all future content. And as always, I would like to take this opportunity to answer any questions you have about any science topics at all. So feel free to email me at stemwithmrn@outlook.com and I'll get back to you with answers to your questions. You can subscribe to the channel by pushing the button here, and I've added links here to the other STEM demos and explanations I do, here to my STEM career interviews, and here to my Things You Should Know About series. This has been STEM with Mr. N, exploring conductors, insulators and musical fruit.